So how do you develop talent? Okay. Again, to ensure effective talent development, it really, in all cases, it starts with you. You need to act as a role model. Okay. I worked a lot. I worked 20 years in the USA, and I've seen there when we went to training, we always had or often had a mix of people in the training, senior managers with junior people, etc. Of course, it depends on the type of training. That mix, having a mix of different levels and different roles within one training, can be very effective because you learn a lot from each other. So act as a role model. Let the training start with you. Be available in that training. If you're giving training, you're not going to be available in every single training. But if you're giving training, for example, on communication skills, make sure that the team who's taking that training know that you also is interested in that type of skill. So you can launch the training maybe and position it in the right way. Reinforce the value of learning, because learning you can do formal and informal learning, and learning can be a self-learning as well. So make sure they know its value and that it can lead to successful results, to evolution. Build a sustainable process to support development. So again, you want to develop your people, they need to be able to apply what they've developed, what they've acquired, and they need to be able to have the time to get this development. Reinforce shared values. Like I said, identify your values and principles and put people together in training sessions. Let them interact and share those values. Leverage problems as opportunities for real-world learning and development. I'm just going to tell you a very quick story here. In my first job out of college, I'm not going to tell you which year, because then you'll know my age, but in my first job out of college, I was, young, energetic, very happy. My degree is computer science, so I was doing the, coding, and of course, part of being a developer, I also did backups, on systems. So one day I was doing a backup. I erased by mistake a whole history file, a huge history file. What do you think happened? I didn't get fired, of course. My managers, of course, explained to me what I did was wrong. And then they gave me the task to recover the lost files from archives. But they didn't hover over me. They didn't tell me, oh, this is how you do it. No, they allowed me to learn from my mistake. So again, when you see somebody who made a mistake, let's say you're listening in on a customer service call, and you listen in, and the agent who's on the call, who's answering the customer, maybe was not very courteous or was not very, very helpful. Okay, you identify that maybe that agent, that customer service, the service agent needs help, needs to be taught how to be courteous or how to answer customers. Maybe that customer service agent did not have enough knowledge to be able to answer the customer. So this is how you can start leveraging those problems and looking at some mistakes that are made. Of course, not huge mistakes, but some of the mistakes that are made, and identifying maybe areas where you can develop further. So on a practical level, in every organization, we have operational employees, so IT support, customer service, reception, administrative, etc. You've got your functional specialists, either people doing pre-sales, sales, engaging with customers, engaging with managers. You've got your senior staff. Those are the people who are experts, who become specialists and experts in certain area. And you've got, of course, your management team, who are the leaders. And as you go up the ladder, okay, you're going to be developing the high performance. So to answer Hamad's question in the beginning, how do you identify high performance? You start identifying them from the junior level up. Because yesterday we had a very interesting speaker. I wish he had the time to be with us today. He also told us about this lady who came to work for them as a receptionist. She had only a high school degree. And when she started working, they saw in her that she has lots of capabilities, that she was able to quickly assimilate things. She was able to do things more than her actual role entailed. And she wanted to learn. She went to her manager and she said, I really need your help because I want to learn. They sponsored her for a university degree, okay? And now she's she's sitting on one of their management teams. So here's an example. You identify those people who are junior, who have just joined you, and you see in them the capability, the ability to evolve and to move up the ladder. And this is how you start developing them. And because as they continue to perform better, this is how they're going to reach the high potential stage of their evolution. Okay? So another case study is Marriott. Marriott, they did a tailored learning and development program. Marriott is a huge chain of hotels, has a huge chain of hotels. And as you know, probably, I don't know exactly what's the number of employees of Marriott across the world, but, they have thousands of types of positions. I'm not saying thousands of employees, thousands of types of positions. So what they did, they spent years on developing a program for role-based management development program. Okay, and again, please excuse me if we're showing you these global case studies. We're not asking you to apply exactly as we're saying, the exact thing as those global leaders. But to give you some examples that maybe within your organization also you can do something role-based, like I mentioned before. So you're not going to give leadership training to somebody who's sitting answering customer calls. You give leadership training to the managers who you want them to become leaders in the future. Okay, you give customer service training to the customer service rep. So again, depending on the role, you give the type of development.